Hey everyone, this is the Renegade Media Group. I'm Micah, that's Nate. This is where Ben's going to sit when he gets here.
Yep.
But that's later. Right now, this is Marvel's The Punisher official trailer 2.
Mm-hmm.
This is coming to Netflix.
Yes, it is.
I'm pretty excited about it.
Starring the angstiest and angriest man on the planet.
Super buff, super angry John Bernthal.
Yeah.
A lot of people know as Shane from The Walking Dead.
Yeah, and actually, we talked about this a little bit earlier. Baby Driver, he plays the angriest man in the movie.
I mean, super buff and super angry.
Yeah, and just like constantly, like in everybody's face, it's just like, what's that? What's that? Huh? What's that? Huh? Yeah, gets those eyes, those eyes going, and gets that little shake he gets going whenever he gets angry. That little face shake. It's just like he's so angry he can't contain it. It's just causing him to shake, give him the tremors.
Like I don't drink, so by that extension, I don't do drinking games, but. He's got like this tick or something, and so like if you go watch The Walking Dead, he has this thing where before he takes off running, he always goes, ugh, and then like runs every time. And I feel like people should go back and check that out. And
not only that,
like
but the head rubbing.
Yeah,
especially after he shaved his head.
They should totally.
Make that a drinking game.
People should jump on that, so it's like everybody takes a drink whenever
the
he goes, ugh!
Yeah, the grunting, what do you call this? Like you can't really call it scratching. The grunting head rub, head rub challenge. Yeah, drink every time Shane does that. You'll be dead by the first season.
So I'm curious to see if we'll see some more of that.
I think we might. If he grunts before running, we'll just be like, Shane. Shane, is that you?
All right. Well, I guess we're going to go ahead and get this started.
All right. You got it on the screen, and...
Yep.
Oh, damn it. Come on. Okay, this thing's being stubborn again. Hold on.
I've gone deaf.
No, you haven't. This thing's just being stupid. Okay, and activate.
OBS, short for obstinate, apparently.
No, just... There it is. Okay. Let me actually get the audio rebalance down here. Actually, hold on. Did they change that on here again? Yeah, they did a little bit. All right. So, right about there. Okay. Sorry about that, everybody. And also, there's a remote to the TV. Oh, that's right in front of you. That's right here real quick. Thank you. Yeah, down to about 25. That's the sweet spot, at least in my personal opinion. All right. Yeah.
A man knows.
Mm-hmm. Especially a media-consuming monster like me.
If we're back on Walking Dead references.
All right. So, yeah, here we go. Sorry about that, everybody. My fault.
Gentlemen, I'm the only authority you will need. I point, you shoot. Kill the target.
Things over there were different. What we were doing was wrong. You did what you were supposed to do, right?
Now the only person you're punishing is yourself. Frank Castle? I got something I need to show you.
Rest of the video files.
The U.S. military turned you into a hitman, Frank.
I'm looking for Frank Castle.
The Punisher?
Roll credits.
You know about my case.
Castle's the last witness. We can either clean this up or let him take us down.
They killed my family to get to me.
Again, Metallica.
War inside you. You gotta think.
Again with one. Very nice.
This is not your fight. I need to find these bastards. I gotta kill them.
Oh, there's Karen.
So where does that end, Frank? What are you supposed to do?
These men, they decide what the truth is.
The same thing that happened to you happened to me.
We could make that right.
Oh, there's the workout scene. Yep. Always with the working out with Jon Bernthal. Oh, here he is.
See the truth.
Punisher trailer?
Yep.
Sick.
November?
Oh, hey!
Hey, November 17th, 2017.
Just in time for the date.
Finally.
Nice. Sick.
Finally.
So how you guys doing?
We're doing good.
good.
How you doing?
I'm all right. Chico went in Scary Water Machine today, so he is
Uh-oh.
very fluffy.
Like the bath?
Oh.
We don't say that word, Micah.
Don't say the B word, all right?
Scary
Do
Water
not say
Machine
the
is
B
so
word.
much better. I apologize.
Well, no, he doesn't. He doesn't realize. He hasn't put that together.
Sorry, dude.
Oh,
Oh,
he's angry. Listen to that
There
boy.
it is.
Listen to
Okay.
that boy right there.
Speaking of the Punisher and unmitigated angst,
Right?
We
Right?
have Chico.
we now have Angry Chihuahua.
Yep.
So this looks super good.
Yes, it does. Okay. I was at first apprehensive whenever they announced Jon Bernthal as the Punisher because I was thinking, oh god, it's going to be Shane 2.0. You know, no character development. You know, it's just going to be him being angry all the time and
Right.
you know, just killing people with, you know, not very well done backstory. But they kind of solidified his backstory with the first half of the second season of Daredevil.
Right.
That graveyard scene alone
Oh, yeah.
made me just like I wept like a child when I saw that because it's just like, wow, this character is deep. This character's got a lot to him. This character is just so well done. And you know, of course they're using the original lore of that Frank Castle had.
Yeah.
They're using the original lore. It's just they're adapting it to fit within the Marvel Netflix universe.
Right.
Yeah. And like the style that the Marvel Cinematic Universe has sort of taken.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's sort of interesting because on the one hand, you know, Mike is right. Punisher is basically just redneck Batman that kills people.
Right.
Also Caleb.
Also just Caleb.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, like if you dig a little deeper, there's a lot of backstory that a lot of people don't see with the Punisher.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you know, he's just so openly redneck Batman that kills people.
Yeah.
And it's like, what backstory does he need? He's redneck Batman that kills people.
Fair enough, yeah.
But his backstory's really good.
No.
Yes, it is.
And they've done
Very,
such a
very
good
good.
job with it that, you know.
I really appreciated, like you're talking about the in the cemetery, but in Daredevil, the rooftop scene.
Oh, the
Where
rooftop
he's-
scene
where
as
he's
well.
got where he's got him chained up, and it's like
Yeah.
they're kind of having like the
philosophical
yes,
argument. Yeah.
and I thought that was just fantastic.
No,
and then
well, you see okay, go ahead, Mike. Sorry.
I just the fact that like you know it's they want to you know they can't really resort to fisticuffs because it's like they both you know kind of hinge on violence to get the point across, but Daredevil always stops before he kills someone, and you know he's not going to do things that are going to risk killing someone.
Yeah.
You know, but the fact is like they you know he's chained up and like can't you know get
Can't
his
do
point
anything.
across or stop Frank Castle, so he has to sit there and listen to the other side. And it's kind of the idea of like, well, you know what would Matt Murdock become if he were in a similar situation, if his you know if he had a wife and a son that were killed right in front of him, you know, or a daughter.
Yeah.
So it's like I mean you don't know, and Frank is you know he points that out. You know, we kind of see it take its toll on Matt Murdock, you know, there towards the end of the season. So it's I just think it's insanely interesting, and it's like, you know, especially like this is a guy that he's just a dude in a universe of people that can punch through walls and have radar senses and
like can
you
get
know,
hit by a car and just go,
yeah,
dude, really?
you know, magic ninja chi punches or whatever. So I mean, it's like when you start, you know, if you get set in this world, it's like, you know, how do you accommodate that? It's like, well, you just got to be meaner than the rest of them, and you know, so it's
And carry a lot of guns.
yeah. So I don't know. That's just super fascinating, you know.
Yeah, and well, like you were saying with the rooftop scene, the little speech he gives to Daredevil is like, I think you're a half measure. I think you're someone who can't get the job done. And, you know, you're one bad day away from being me. That whole scene, I get that. You know, that kind of pontificates who he is as a character. That is his emphasis. That is the emphasis on his character as is. The reason the graveyard scene hit me so hard was because it gives you a window into his mind as how things were before, with what made him become this killing machine.
Sure.
Like he was always a violent person because of his you know, career as a soldier. You know, he had the violence there, but then when the one thing that really kept him grounded in the good life, and you know, it kept him grounded and it kept him sane, was his family.
Right.
Yeah.
And to have that taken from you in such a brutal fashion and in an instant.
And at that point, it's like, well, that was kind of the only thing keeping me grounded, so...
Well, yeah, we see in this, they did a really good job because this trailer didn't really spoil anything. It just looks awesome and just leaves us with more questions. And we see that, you know, he was really good at what he did.
And what he did wasn't very nice.
No.
Well, but what he
Wolverine.
was doing, you can see in just a little bit of this, like, he believed he had a purpose in doing it, and come to find out he was basically just a thug, you know, for the government. You know, they were lying to them, you know, and you see him, like, you know, basically punching a CO because it's like, you know, we're still people, you know.
Of course. Well, the Punisher at his core is still a human being, and he's still a person. It's just he's surrounded in this Kevlar lined, you know, spray painted skull of a shield that he puts around his heart, and doesn't let anybody in. And the people that he actually does let in see his reasons why for becoming the way he did, and that's just like Matt Murdock in the second season of Daredevil. You know, having a heart-to-heart with Frank, and then just, you know, Frank sharing that story of the day before everything happened, and Matt breaking down, Matt having a moment. And actually, the comments down below the video actually are what made me realize how powerful the scene was, is because they actually did like a kind of like a semi-role play of it. It's just like, you know, cops are outside the graveyard. It's like, sir, we have the Punisher cornered in the graveyard. And the police chief, who's actually, you know, got like a ear in on the situation.
Yeah, got like the parabolic mic.
Yeah,
on him.
Got the parabolic mic. All of a sudden, the police chief just goes, "Give him a minute. Give him a fucking minute."
Yeah, and it's just like,
yeah, you. Give him this.
when you've got that bad a dude cornered in a cemetery, and you go, all right, hold on, let's just
give him a second.
Give him a minute. Sir? No. Look, he needs this.
Yeah.
Just, sir? Shut the fuck up, rookie. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah. So, needless to say.
And you're just like, he was one day from retirement.
But I'm excited for this. Are y'all excited for this?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like, I thought he was fantastic in just what little we got in Daredevil. So, it's,
Yeah.
I mean, Netflix has been doing a really good job with their, you know, their Marvel properties.
Well, for the most part. Defenders, okay. I liked Defenders, but to me it just felt like everything just...
I mean, it was okay, but I wasn't really expecting much because it just... I think it suffers from Avengers syndrome, where you get a bunch of heavy hitter characters together, it's always going to feel imbalanced.
You've got to have the writing so well done.
And I think, well...
You know, because, like, Avengers, the first Avengers movie, like...
The writing was on.
The writing was spot fucking on. Nobody felt like they were overshadowing anybody else. And that's the thing. Tony Stark's got a way to overshadow everybody. He just does. But he didn't.
No.
Everybody else, their characters were strong enough to carry them. Like,
everybody had their moments.
You know, Cap going, I got it. I got that reference. You're just like,
yeah.
That's exactly what he would have said.
Mm-hmm.
But also, that keeps him in the scene. And it was, you know, it was perfect.
Yeah, and with Defenders, what I got was, they played way too much up on the we're never gonna get along. We're too different and all this and all that. They kept trying to hammer that in over like the first half of the entire run, and I'm like, guys, come on.
It's like
you look, okay, we can only say we're not gonna get along so many times in so many different ways before eventually we're just like, all right, when's this episode over, and when do they actually start working together? Come on, we know it's coming.
And it's like, okay, we're never going to get along. Then stop hanging out together.
Right. Exactly. If that's the case, stop hanging out
if
together.
You don't actually believe that you're ever going to get along, then stop assuming that you're going to get along and just go your separate ways. One of you actually leave. Oh, you're not... Oh, okay, so it's not in the script. Okay.
All right.
All right. It's
Fine.
not in the runtime of the show. Okay. We'll just we'll just keep letting you hammer this home, even though you provably don't believe that.
Yeah.
Because if you actually believed that, you'd go.
Yeah. Also, I like this comment down here. When does it end, Frank? When the last body drops.
Yep.
That's a very Punisher.
Also,
line.
I'm quite fond of. This doesn't seem advertiser friendly. I'm quite fond of that comment.
Yes.
That's
funny.
That does raise an interesting implication. It's like,
YouTube.
So what does happen to the Punisher when all the bad guys are dead? It's like, and it's always that interesting. Like you see like the revenge morality tale. It's like, well, what do they get out of it after all the bad people that wronged them are gone? It's like.
Well, I mean, realistically, what you're looking at is the Wile E. Coyote scenario.
Right.
What happens when the coyote finally catches the Roadrunner?
Well, he didn't know what to do.
Yeah, you like at that point, your brain goes, "Wait, this is it. I've finally done it. What is my life now?"
Right. So it's like, can he just switch it off and find peace, or is it like he has to keep finding his own purpose in stopping wrongs? So he starts looking for wrongs where he should,
where there might not be any. Or,
so he would really become the thing that he despised in the first place.
Yeah, and the thing of it is, like, we know that in the comics, he's got all these villains he can go after.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So he's still functioning as an anti-hero, but in this universe, I mean, I'm sure those villains exist, but they sure as hell haven't been revealed.
Right. Well, I feel like with this series, they're going to keep it very human, so they're not going to drag him into like the bigger Marvel universe. I think they're going to keep very human adversaries.
I think that's essentially what you have to do.
Right.
Yeah.
In this case, especially in like the Netflix section of the Marvel universe, because otherwise you're going to start like you're going to end up with this massive amount of power creep until finally, like, you've got Daredevil facing down Thanos, and you go, "Oh shit, how do we get out of this one?"
Yeah.
Pray for Thanos.
Well, there's.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Hashtag pray for Thanos.
But you have to keep at a certain power level.
Somebody just takes a magazine cut out of Rick Grimes' face and staples it on Thanos, Deadpool style, and he just goes bananas. And
that's amazing.
It's like, well,
I like
there
that.
you go, Avengers. That's how you do it.
Yeah.
No, I'm in. I would
just like gets one Infinity Stone for each of his abs and just.
Well, I mean, the thing is, so you take, like, the only way that Punisher beats Thanos is if Deadpool shows up and goes, wait. You good? We good? I'll be over here.
That'd be funny.
Go get him, guys.
That'd be awesome.
What you doing?
Does he want over here?
I don't know.
For me,
oh, does he want this?
He might want that.
One thing that they've done with the villains in the Marvel Netflix universes, for the most part, have been human.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the only one who I can think of that is like metahuman or advanced is Kilgrave.
Right.
Yep.
And of course, you had Diamondback in Luke Cage, who had like this super suit that put him on par with Luke Cage.
But that's still a dude in a suit.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. he's still outside of that suit. He's still just
a
human.
mutant. Yeah.
And I think well, and of course in friggin' the Defenders, it was like this supernatural means of like maintaining your life and all this and all that. In which, okay, when the supernatural stuff is done right, it works. But when it's haphazardly handled, like it has been so far,
yeah.
Like, okay, the second half of the Daredevil season 2 is to me where I think a lot of the problems started to rear their ugly head. And as much as I'd like to say, Daredevil season 2 was perfect, it was better than the first, I can't say that, because even though the first half of the second season is probably some of the best that's ever been of that show, the second half of the second season just was you were like, okay, you're trying to put all these in here, and it just feels forced.
And on top of that, when you start getting into like, oh, we have this mystical way of extending lives, woo, yeah, you're getting into that power creep problem.
Yeah.
I mean, at that point, it's like, okay, so now we've brought magic into this.
Yeah.
Okay, how do you counter that?
Scarcity.
I mean,
because they basically, the problem they ran into is they only had a limited supply of the substance, the immortality serum, and so they had to be very cunning and meticulous over the years. And well, we're getting to the head where, okay, they've run out and they can't make any more. So it's like, oh, now it's like for real,
Yeah.
What's going to happen? So it got to that critical head where, yeah, they have a lot of influence and they're formidable, but
I mean,
they kind of caught them with their pants down.
Yeah, their timing is limited.
So I mean that makes sense, instead of them just being like some kind of like uber powerful whatever, like immortal people. There was like a catch built into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I mean, at that point, like, you pretty much have to transition immediately into Doctor Strange, and then you've basically just outclassed the rest of the Defenders,
right?
Like in one fell swoop.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you have to really like keep the reins on it. Like, a lot of people have talked about doing a Ghost Rider series for Netflix. And Chico, are you wanting water? Okay, here you go.
Go on, buddy. I'm looking at Chico on the camera. Chico's so white on camera right now because of his bath.
Yeah, he's
it's amazing.
He's clean.
He's
clean and shiny. But so I think if you bring Ghost Rider in, you're so dangerously close to that tipping point that I don't think you can safely do it.
Are they talking about doing Ghost Rider?
Well, I mean, a lot of people have thrown around, it's like, man, wouldn't it be cool to get a Ghost Rider series on Netflix?
Because the most I've heard about it is my buddy said he thought that the chain fight scene with Daredevil, he felt like they were playing around with that to see if they could pull off Ghost Rider.
Well, see, I mean,
which is just a lot of hopes and dreams.
Well, I mean, but even like throwing around that opinion, it's like, yeah, that's great. And I mean, I love that idea too, but if you do that, like, you're getting into, supernatural powers, crazy fire abilities, penance stare, motorcycle riding up walls.
I mean, they don't
Nicolas
have to.
Cage.
They don't have to do that. That was kind of cool.
I mean, yeah, but once you start getting dangerously close to that Cage line,
I think they'll do a good job of keeping it separate, because it looks like they're keeping this separate from the more mystical side of, like, the Defenders and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, also, he's just like facing down completely different foes.
Right.
He's, it's looking like a lot of his is going to be on the government.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, first off, kind of your dream show.
I mean,
Yours and Caleb's.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Caleb's in the show.
Just
so
saying, don't threaten me with a good time.
Yeah. But secondly, I mean, unless the government's been doing some crazy stuff outside of S.H.I.E.L.D., which, I mean, I wouldn't put it past them.
I wouldn't either.
S.H.I.E.L.D.'s kind of their go-to on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it seems pretty fair. I mean, it's a whole shit ton of dudes versus Frank Castle. It's like, yeah, I mean, those are decent odds.
Yeah.
They might make it interesting.
Maybe.
But.
All right, so yeah, you let us in on this, Mike.
All right. Yeah. So
Well, I sure as hell didn't. I just got here.
Exactly.
So let us know what you all thought.
By the way, sorry I'm late, guys.
it's okay. It's fine.
Totally fine. We actually introduced your spot. So
Oh,
we were
Yeah,
like,
we
cool.
did.
we're
Whenever
like,
he
we're
gets
here now. Ben comes later.
Cool.
Yes.
Yeah, and then I did. Boy, isn't it a good thing I showed up during this video? Were you guys just keeping it going until I got here?
No.
Not really. No.
Okay.
No, you came in when we were in the midst of watching it.
Yeah, I know.
Mhm.
I just wasn't sure how much you padded out the beginning.
Nah, not
All
much.
right. Come here, Chico.
All right, everyone. I guess that's got it.
Scratch.
Thank you all for watching, and we will see you next time.
Chico would wave, but he's in the floor.